Hello. 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 Hello, Carolyn. Oh, what fun. You came early. Everybody comes late to the dance. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. You've got your mute on. That little red microphone with a slash through it. It means you are mute. Not moot, but mute. Hmm. It's nice to see you here, even though I see nothing but pixels. Our brain is so funny. Well, it's not really our brain. Hmm.
I think I'm unmuted.
I hear you now.
Yes. Can can you see me or all I see is a blank screen? Oops. Here we go. I haven't been on Zoom in a long time.
Ah,
Okay, so here we go. So now,
if you tap that little video camera down in the lower left.
okay, that's not even showing right now.
Ah, okay.
Okay, that doesn't help. Um, let's see here.
Let's see. This is what I
Oh,
have.
here, I found it. I found it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Okay. That,
Ah, there you are.
yeah, hi.
Hi. There, I just tapped mine.
Okay.
Oh,
So to go, yeah, no, I pulled I did one of those, Michael, where I it said noon and I went backwards. My brain sometimes does this little dyslexic thing, and I'm thinking, well, that means 10 o'clock my time instead of 2 o'clock. I'm in Central, so I had that backwards. So I go, okay, I have to remember 2 o'clock. So I ran around all day, and now I'm back there.
uh, so it's 2 o'clock where you're at?
Yeah, right now I'm in New Orleans.
New Orleans. Wow.
Yeah, yep, yep, yep.
Oh.
We're
Yeah.
down here for till I'll go home back up north for Thanksgiving,
Ah, I'm
and I'll come
going to
down
say
here.
it's not a New Orleans accent.
No, no, it's a South Side Chicago accent.
Southside
No,
Chicago. Oh my.
I grew up on the South Side, and now I don't live there anymore. But you
Ah,
retain that sound.
city with the big shoulders.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, big shoulders. It is. It's the. I think I want to say it was always a working man's city, pretty much. You know, definitely, but it's got everybody there.
Ah, it's such a big country. We could
It is.
we could never explore. California is such a diverse state. I
Yes.
could never explore California even.
No.
Uh, and it's so diverse, really. The different foods, the different accents.
Mhm.
Here's Larry. Hi, Larry. Um, yeah, I love this country. I was born in Wyoming, in a very isolated area and a very isolated ranch. We are 18 miles from town. The diverse cultures, oh, I can imagine what it's like to grow up in Chicago, but I don't suppose anyone can. We don't know. we'll never know what it's like to be us.
Right.
That's the schism that language creates, is this imaginary separation of the I am and the rest of the world.
Mhm.
Um, in that lies our loneliness and our longing. Um, Somebody was from East Timor, and I didn't know where that was at. I had no idea. And I wanted to say, what's it like living in East Timor? But
Well, is that in the United States or is that in another country or
it's
India or
somewhere. I think it's in the Philippines, but I'm
in the
not sure.
Philippines? Oh, okay.
Perhaps Larry would know. He looks like a world traveler. Um, my first response was, what's it like living in East Timor? But then I thought, my goodness, that is the silliest question. Even those who live in East Timor don't know what it's like. Um, I think that's a hint, the slightest hint that the sense of self is essentially empty. Um, Simply a mental fabrication. And so we don't know what it's like to be us because, hi, Oliver.
Hello,
Did
how
we
are you?
we lost Larry? Here's Phyllis. Did we lose Larry? I don't see him anymore. Um, Hi, Phyllis.
Hey, hey.
Oh,
Hello.
I love the sound
Hello.
of your voice.
Yours is the lullaby always. I can't
Lullaby.
love it.
Yeah.
That's a lullaby, lulla. Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Puts me to sleep in a good place between wakefulness and sleepfulness and
Mm,
just as in a nice, sweet, soft place.
yeah. Yeah.
It's it's the daddy's voice, huh?
Whatever happened to you, Phyllis, is very pleasant. I remember going through the Shadowlands with
Oh,
you. Was
yes.
not pleasant. You were not in a pleasant place, listeners.
Oh, no, yeah, good thing I had pleasantness from you and more than that, life saving. Even though we say it's not a lifesaver, there's something to hold on to,
Mm,
knowing, feeling that you were there and Nancy somehow were listening with your hearts. It that was that was a therapy for me.
mm,
If you know, I was in it before, sort of, and I've gone through cancer, I've gone through a divorce, I've gone through a broken neck, and they're not going to get me now.
no, there's nobody to get anymore.
Right, right. I just, yeah, it's it was a conundrum, but knowing there's so much suffering, like you said, the Shadowland, and the shadows lift when they do, like the clouds. I mean,
Mm,
that's all they are. They're beautiful clouds that have somehow seemed to have turned black
mm,
or another color. And then one day, 10 days later, 10 years later, ever, before you, once the body dies, those shadows, they part. And
mm.
then, yeah,
Yeah, no one knows what happens. We were talking about that earlier, how that we can't know what it's like to be us, because as those people who are here, probably it has dawned now that there is no us. The sense of self is a mental fabrication. It doesn't actually exist. Even conventional scientists have come to that conclusion. Daniel Dennett came to that years and years ago, Pinker, so many other people can have concluded that the sense of self can't be found or even, spoke about. Uh, It doesn't exist, which is, I think, heartbreaking at first when it starts to dawn on its brain that it's been living under what amounts to its own created illusion, contributed to by a shared language of the tribe and parents. It takes the tribe to build a sense of self, reinforcement, happy birthday parties, a name. Uh, the sense of personal identity gradually forms. And in a few, the brain is wired to try to understand that or escape the existential angst of imaginary separation. They call themselves seekers. And it is crushing to know when it dawns that they've been seeking an illusion. Nothing, if it has a name, it doesn't exist except in the naming of it. There's no such thing as enlightenment or love. There's no such thing as things. It's all this great charade. The sages, people who upon whom that has dawned, cannot speak about it because it's literally the emptiness of linguistic thinking. It's the end of the world. It's the end of the known world. Hi, Vicky. Oh, you did get up. You sweetheart. Oh, I'm getting chills. Um, Vicky's teaching me Australian. We're working on oi now. When do you say oi? I'll say, I say,
Oi, oi.
yeah, but I know how to say it. I don't know when. Oi, look at that. I just say it too much because everything is oi. I overuse it. I guess I'll never learn to be Australian because well, we don't really understand each other's language anyway. Each of us has a unique dictionary, a unique world unto ourselves, unique so much so there'll never be anything remotely like you or anything ever will be like you. Nothing. You're unique and beautiful mental fabrication. I was going to talk today about love, and these things never quite pan out the way I plan, but nothing does. But I wrote a thing this morning on love. If we don't exist except as mental fabrications, how can we love each other? What are we loving, really? Is it a mental image in our mind of a person, of another persona? Because we don't exist either, except as a mental fabrication. I believe, or there's believed here, that we love an image that our brain creates, an image that fulfills our desire for completeness and warmth, a desire for home, a place to rest for a moment. I believe humans are the only ones who love because of this imaginary separation that most spend their life trying to escape. The, in a way, your ultimate fear is true. You are alone in the darkness of a cranium, in a 2.5 pounds of gray jelly where your world exists. All of, I'm reticent to say all of your memories. It's all the memories, all the experiences are filed away in that gray matter. They don't know where memory is located. They evidently can probe different parts of the brain and different memories will come up. Oh, there I am in the fourth grade. There's Mrs. Winters and Danny Perko is throwing a temper tantrum. Um, All of those memories are stored. All of those memories create who you are or who the brain thinks you are. And most people live and die in that world. And that's okay. A few of us are bothered by that. Something doesn't fit, something doesn't ring true. We want to know what's going on, who and what we are. 50 years, as long as I can remember. I remember being 10 years old on the sagebrush hills of Wyoming, laying watching cumulus clouds roll in, wondering who I am. What's going on? And that continued through high school and college. In college, I picked up the book, a study of a comparative study of religions. I don't remember the exact title. It's a great big book. And I got about 200 pages in it, or 100 pages. I don't know. I just thought, oh, the answer is not here. But I bought over the next 50 years, I'll bet 1,000 books and read them and dog-eared them and underlined them and just couldn't find what I was looking for. After a catharsis, it dawned that everything I was looking for was imaginary. It didn't exist. I was looking for home, safety, completeness, all of those words that exist only as names. The barrenness of this ultimate realization is terrifying. First of all, we don't exist. Second of all, there's no such thing as law. There's no such thing as things. There's no such thing as a mountain or a river or an ocean. No line between the Pacific and the Atlantic. Those are just lines around things that exist only in the lines around them. We're left with nothing. That's why enlightenment is so hard to speak about. There's nothing there. There's not even a person. But then you have to come back to the language world. You live between two worlds, one imaginary and one actual. I believe, or it's believed here, that the universe is physically manifested. There are stars and trees, antelopes, and dinosaur bones, and that our impression of it is only a conceptual overlay, a consensus conceptual overlay. And that's beautiful. That's only occurred in human beings using language, and language creates the desire to escape the artificiality of the world. We're torn between seeking and living. We can't talk about this to our friends and relatives. They think we've gone a little crazy. Many of us spend years wandering this, what I call it shadowlands, wondering what's going on. Who am I? We'll try 1,000 exercises. God, I tried everything. I signed up for a transcendental meditation, and at that time it was $150. I think it's much more expensive now. And we were very poor. We made like $15,000 a year. And my wife said, "You really want this?" And I said, "I really do." So I signed up, and they gave me my very own mantra, and it was Sharim, Sharim, Sharim. But the first 6 months I said Sharim, Sharim, Sharim. And my instructor came up and said, "Okay, let's go over your mantra." So I started saying Sharim, Sharim, Sharim. He said, "No, it's Sharim." I said, "Really?" My first thought was, I've wasted 6 months on the wrong mantra. Damn. So the next 8 years was going up into my room, crossing my legs in a semi lotus position and saying Sharim, Sharim, Sharim. One time, Everything went, and it lasted just a millisecond. And then right back again. The mind is movement. There's no such thing as a still mind. I tried the next 4 years trying to get back to that loop. And of course, the brain probably figured out a way to block that door. I don't know. I don't know it, but anything happens. That's just what it appears to be. Um, trying so hard to escape a condition that didn't actually exist. It's hard. It's impossible. Every path you've been on has led back into the dream. There's no escape. There's no way out of this dream. It's just a dream. You can't wake up from it. You are the dream. You are the brain dreaming of a consensus overlay. Only thing we have to use to escape is the very tools that create the illusion. Words, language, separation, imaginary separation. Those are the things that create the problem, the imagined problem, and anything we do with them only exacerbates the illusion of separation. It's me trying to escape, trying to transcend, trying to understand. There's no such thing as understanding. We don't understand anything. We don't know what electricity and magnetism and gravity and water are. We describe and measure, but we don't understand. Water is two explosive gases mixed together, and it turns into this clear liquid that nobody understands. When it freezes, it floats. That doesn't make any sense, but if it didn't float, no life would have evolved on Earth. Um, Lakes would have frozen over, the ice sunk, and then it would go down, 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 and it would never thaw. Everything had to be just so for us to evolve. The dinosaurs had to be wiped out for the funny little mammals that we were could survive and turn into great apes, and great apes could become naked and start talking to each other. It's so beautiful. It's unbelievable. When we're gone, the world will go dark again. We won't evolve. Evolution never repeats itself. We are the jewel of manifestation. We're walking, talking, mysterious jewels. Doesn't last that long. If you're lucky, your hair, if you have hair, will be white, and you'll look back over your life and take a deep breath and say, oh, it went by so fast. Every moment is precious. When I look at you, I have to look away. I'm looking at Larry's smile now. It's so gentle, so loving. Tim Kliss, when he has a meeting, he'll talk for a while and he stops talking until somebody wants to talk. I love that about him. He'll wait for 2 or 3 minutes sometimes.
Sometimes we talk about waking up in the dream, that apparently there's a forgetting. We have forgotten, that we are this formlessness that believe that we are form. And then we remember. Something happens to make us remember, hey, I am not confined to a body, I'm not the solidity. But then we go deeper still and we say that the dream wakes up. The dreaming, that whatever is this dreaming that's happening, that is imagining everything, like it's waking up to its creation, So sometimes it's like a confusion. Now, what is it, Because there's so many people telling you so many things, you know? And then there is within this experiencing of what you are. And then you doubt that experiencing because it is happening within the dream. It is a dreaming. And whatever's dreaming is making up stories upon stories and living these stories through us. So, yeah, at the end, I don't know. So, yeah, it is like that. And then we come to love. And what is love? Love is creating this image in your mind. I mean, they never really love a person as such. We love, like Michael says, you love the image. This person could be 1,000 different images in 1,000 different minds. But in his mind, but in your mind, you have picked up the things that you like and you create this person that you fall in love with. But that's like kind of like this loving is never satisfied. It's never the what you want it to be. There's always that imperfection, that yearning for something more. And eventually, I think in my young days, I started to think that if there was a God up there, that would be perfect, to fall in love with God, and God will not let you down, because I mean, there's you try to see that it's unconditional, this loving. Somehow it's going to be that. And then gradually in life, you do meet a couple of people who have that kind of a love. And you wonder about them, like, how can they love this kind of a thing? And somehow that's it. Like Jesus said, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. I like that. Thanks.
The feeling that there's something missing is what drives the seeking. There's nothing missing. You look at a 2-year-old or a baby and you say, what's missing? What is missing in that little creature? There's nothing missing. There's nothing missing in you. Um, First of all, because you don't exist. Second of all, what is missing becomes an ideation. It becomes a thing. There's something missing, but there's no things. There's no actual things that exist anywhere in the universe in isolation. We can only picture the world that way through our language, shared language. There's nothing missing. We don't wake up in the dream. We are the brain's dream, the objectifying human brain's dream of imaginary separation. We can't wake up from it. We have no agency whatsoever. We're a mental fabrication. Memories, reflections, images of others. Without others, we don't exist. One person alone goes crazy. The man on the island alone, had to invent a soccer ball that he could talk to. We exist only in each other's light. We exist only in the presence of something that we can create an image about. We are a hologram reflecting each other's lives. We are each other. I'm looking at Phyllis's face now. I know it so well. We can never experience who and what we are for the same reason that I was talking about. We aren't. How can we see something that doesn't exist? Somehow that can dawn on this beautiful brain. And when it happens, the world implodes. There's a picture of Vicky sitting on a rock that I just love. Behind her is the plains of Australia. It's just a beautiful picture. It reminds me of Andrew Wyeth. Um, Picture, beautiful painting. Vicky, what's happening to you? What's happened to you?
It's kind of hard to explain. I totally, when you say you're walking through the vast lands, that's how I feel. I'm kind of between two worlds, and yeah, it's difficult. So on one hand, I'm a person and I'm doing various things, but on the other hand, I know it's pretty much just a play, or it's just like a story, and it's not, and that we're all wrapped in stories, and I don't understand it. That's why I come here.
You'll never understand it. There's really nothing to understand. Um, that's why it's stories, memories, self-referential data that's accumulated over a lifetime, that creates the image of a persona separate from other personas. It's quite beautiful, really. It has wonderful survival and reproduction, um, evolutionary advantage. Look at how we populated the entire Earth. Humans are very successful as a species. Language evolved because it had survival value. Only, it's all evolution. It's you people say there's no such thing as evolution, and there really isn't. It's just a description of how animals adapt and change over time or become extinct. Um, and that's observable. There's a little moth in England that was gray. After the Industrial Revolution, it gradually turned black because the that it hid on became black. And the lighter colored ones were eaten. As they grew darker with the trees, they survived to reproduce. Now the trees are going white again, and the moths are adapting. They're becoming light again. And in some cases, almost white as the oaks become white. That's all evolution says. Animals change and adapt over time or don't adapt and die. We evolved over millions and millions of years, and we're beautiful. We're the jewels of manifestation. Nowhere else does this feeling of love exist in the entire universe. That requires imaginary separation, me and other, me and you. I have to have an image, although it's false, in order to love that image. I love my wife. I love my grandbabies because they're my tribe, because my grandbabies carry my genetic, that by nature I am desirous of having go on in the future. This deep desire, this sensuousness of life, is life trying to propagate its genes and extend them. It's beautiful. I fell in love a lot when I was young, but it was it was biologically motivated. Now I fall in love all the time, and I don't want anything from you. I love the image of you in my mind. It dances on the edge of who I am ever becoming. Oliver, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to say that can be one interpretation of love, longing for unity. but it is also said that love, a deep sense of love is experienced when we are feeling the unity or we are in the state of unity. Are they contradictory? You're muted. You're muted.
No, well, they are contradictory. Love is not a thing at all. It's a chemical reaction in the brain. When I was younger and flooded with testosterone, love to me was more biological. Um, as an old man, I still have that. I still have desires, but I don't take them personally. I know I've done so many things. I was an alcoholic for 20 years, and I did everything that alcoholics do. I've learned that those things don't bring lasting happiness, and they can bring a lot of misery. Um, it's settled into a quiet acceptance of everything that arises, both in me and what I see. Um, it's a peace that passes understanding, because there's really, in the deepest sense, no one here for, I don't really remember being angry in the last 15 years. Um, or frightened. There's great acceptance of whatever arises. Um, I can't explain it. It was passing through the shadowland that Phyllis and I were talking about earlier. It's the loss of everything. It's the loss of personal identity. It's the loss of everything you thought you owned. You can never lose what you never had. Nothing is yours in the world. You're alone in a world you can never even hope to understand. You evolved in the cranium, in a beautiful brain from which you'll never escape. You're a world unto yourself. That can be scary, but it can be incredibly peaceful too. They are two different worlds, Oliver. They're one is living in a manifested universe with cars and lost car keys and all the stuff of physicality, and then one is the conceptual consensus overlay. That's a mind map of the world. It's not the world. We can never know what the world is because we are the brain's objectified perspective. We can never know who and what we are because we are the brain's imaginary sense of self. We are not the center where intelligence exists. That occurs in the scintillating synaptic gaps of the frontal cortex of an objectifying brain. A lot of people say the brain doesn't exist, but they're reticent to say that the kidneys don't exist and the lungs don't exist and the heart doesn't exist. Occam's razor says the most logical conclusion would be that the brain manifests the world it can never understand. I find great peace in that. And all of that is an objectified overlay also. Enlightenment is part of objectification. There's no escape. The greatest sages of the world were in the same conundrum that you are. They just don't take it personally because there's no person to take it personally. That's why it's so hard to understand because there's nothing there. We've been scratching at walls, and the scratching is what creates the walls. There's no walls. There's no lines around things, no lines around people. There's no lines around mountains. It's all a beautiful charade. We can't escape it. We are it. Larry's coming in and out. I don't know what's going on. Oh my. It must be his connection.
He must be disappearing.
Yeah, maybe what we're talking about is making him disappear. Hi, Larry. We thought maybe you were disappearing, but maybe it's just a bad connection. Oh.
like today I was reading, this guy was talking about that consciousness itself, consciousness or awareness or whatever you want to call it, God, whatever. And he said it was lonely. Yeah, it was lonely, and then it created this otherness, like, and yeah, and then they all like it was all a dream, an illusion. Right, but what he was talking about, I think lots of people say that, because even if you look at Chuck Hillock, some of you might like him.
Mm.
He explains it in a, yeah, in a very different way. It's like you can understand what he's saying, about how we replicate and stuff like that. But no, but what this guy said really made me think back to my time when I was in university. I remember this one night I went to sleep. And in my sleep, it's what people would call lucid dreaming, or this moment of lucidity.
Mhm.
When I actually seemingly was at my door, I could watch myself now. I'm watching myself from my bed, but I'm not on my bed. I'm at my door and I'm opening my door and I'm letting my friend in. And my friend is there sitting next to me on the bed, and we are talking and stuff like that. And then I open the door and she's gone out. I could see the whole thing in my mind. I am looking at it, And it's like those moments of clarity when suddenly we're looking out and we're saying, hey, I'm inside and watching everything, like, like a sort of like a witnessing kind of thing is happening here. And then I went back and I woke up and I was in my bed and I had not gotten up and I had not done all those things. But when he spoke about that, I realized that it was so true, like, because that's what happens. Like suddenly you are in seemingly on the inside of the brain, like something happens, and then you are looking out and you're just observing what's happening out there. You're not interacting with it. You're just observing it. And this happened in a dream kind of a thing, So I don't know. But I mean, like, I do have like lucid dreams sometimes, but it's not often. But when you were talking about that, this guy was talking about it, it made me remember that. I could remember it very clearly.
Mm.
And I could say, hey, that's how I feel most of the time. Like, that when this shift kind of happens, it's like you feel like everything is happening out there. So I don't know. Like,
I think innate in the human brain is that there's a better way to see what's going on, that we're missing a deeper, more meaningful perspective. And that's not true. I played with lucid dreaming for years. In a dream at night, if you really work on it, you can say, oh, this is a dream. And you'll know you're dreaming. And you can say, this is my dream. I can do what I want. And you can within certain parameters. You can't manifest something that you don't have in your card pile. But one night, oh, I could fly. Did a lot of flying. I don't do it anymore. I do a lot of flying, uh, a lot of trying to teach people how to fly. That Superman movie where you touch their hand or touch a finger and you can go up in the sky with. It's quite thrilling. One time I had sex with 3 women because it was my dream. I could do anything I wanted. Um, no guilt because they weren't real. Um, it was fun. And I played with out-of-body experiences for 10 years. My brother called me up one night and said, I get out of my body, I can't get back in. I said, oh God, he's gone crazy. So I started doing research, and at that time, Thelma Moss was the authority on this. And I was a professor at UCLA, and my brother said, I called her and said, I get out of my body, I can't. She said, oh, that happens to a lot of people, and dropped the phone on him. So I tried it and I tried it and I tried it and I tried to get out of my body. And there's exercises you can use. And one night I was on the floor and I thought, well, I had stopped drinking. I thought, did I fall out of bed? And I stood to get up and my hand went right to the floor. And I thought, oh my God, I'm out of the body. Of course, then terrified and snapped right back into the body again. So I thought, okay, I can do this. So the same adventure for 10 years, flying up through the sky, shooting through forests. One time I got so used to flying through forests like that one movie where the uh, Star Wars movie. And I saw that after. I thought, oh my God, that's what I do. So that's where he got the idea. So I'm shooting through the forest and I think, what would happen if I hit a tree? So I slammed into a tree, really painful. And I thought, okay, that's what happens. So one time I went as far up into space as I could until it got really cold. And I couldn't go any further. So I came back. I played with this and I thought, oh my God, I get out of the body at night. I really thought I could. I had even subjective proof. One time I got out and sat on the roof and the constellation Orion was way over here. And then I got up out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and the constellation was right over there where I saw it. I thought, oh, that's proof. It wasn't. Thomas Metzinger, a very famous German scientist, had an out-of-body experience and started studying him. And he has a book called The Ego Tunnel, which is brilliant. Explains him very well. We never leave the brain, but the brain is so creative, it can fool itself into believing this stuff. It fools itself into believing there's a world of named objects out there, and there's a person inside. Um, So many people have talked about how the brain does that, that there's no denying that that's what's happening. Um, Everything I say is filtered through everything you believe. Some of it's accepted, some of it's rejected. But if the brain you think of as yours can start to see the network of beliefs, that's like a burqa. It's like being inside of a bubble, a mirrored bubble where everything you see is you. It's your belief about that, which is out there. Something can happen. I never recommend things or trying to see things differently, but sometimes it feels like I am, and I don't mean that I don't have a method. There's no method to escape something that doesn't exist. Consciousness is the window and the bars. That's our condition. We won't escape it. This is it. And you've heard that before. But it, for us, is the objectified perspective. There is no it. Other animals don't live in a world of it. They just try to survive. They don't even know they're here. That takes a language. Me and other. I exist, therefore I am. He should have said, I think, therefore I think I am. Instead of or I think, therefore I am. That's recursive loop. Um, Thinking makes you think, or makes the brain think that it actually exists. And in a way, the brain doesn't exist. It's not separate from the other organs. It's one electric, scintillating ball of energy. I don't even energy doesn't exist. Um, you wind up with nothing to say because you're talking to people that don't exist. You start to see the beauty, the raw, unspeakable beauty of others, and then it starts to dawn that's your own beauty reflected back at you. There's nothing beautiful about other people. The beauty simmers down to you. It's all your own beauty. It's the light that you see the world in, the mother's gaze. You become more than enough, overflowing. I fall in love. My wife goes shopping and I sit in the car and people will walk by and I'll say something or she has a scooter, she's handicapped, so I get her scooter out and an old guy will be walking by and I'll say, "Hi, how you doing?" He said, "I'm good. How you doing?" I'll say, "You want to wrestle?" He says, "What? You want to wrestle? Me and you." So that opens a window. Guys like to fight. If I said that to a woman, they probably wouldn't take it the same. But men understand. Men are different than women. I love that. I love the electricity. I love the magnetism. I love everything about women, the way they walk and talk and flip their hair, the way they sound, the way their voice is a sing-song melody to me. Um, I don't understand everything Vicky says, but I try to understand Australian a little bit. I don't know if she hearing me. I do have that closed caption thing. And if I have trouble understanding anybody, I just read their words. I think, God, that's pretty neat. I never knew that was there. It even will translate from Spanish to English. Amazing. I don't know how the machinery does that. It took a lot of people to come up with that stuff. I don't understand anything, really. I love flying headless through a vast unknown unknowableness. Larry, what do you think of all this babble? Oh, I think you're muted.
You're muted.
There, Larry, there's a little microphone down in the far left-hand corner. If you just punch that really hard. Yeah. See that little microphone? There you go.
Yeah, I think he's got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
You mean I've been muted all this time? I've been all this time, Michael? You
Uh,
can't hear me?
oh, I can hear you now. Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Sorry about that. I've got a bad connection, but what I think of all this is it's, fascinating. It's wondrous. I love listening to you um, because, everybody knows you've got the inside scoop.
If there was a scoop to be had.
We're here. How many people are here
Let's
today?
see, six, seven.
Pardon me?
Seven people.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can only see you and
Oh.
me up in the corner, and then and Raja.
Ah,
Because you're with
Raja
a
comes in
mobile.
and
If
out
you were
too.
with computer, you would see.
Oliver
I
understands
need,
this
yeah,
stuff.
I'm on my phone.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
on my phone.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
If you
you
were
knew
on a bigger
that.
screen, you would see more
Yeah.
people.
Well, see, I'm shopping new internet because I've got a great computer, but I can't use it. Yeah, I used to have Verizon, and they hung a little tin can out my window, and every once in a while I would get reception,
hmm.
and for that I was paying $20 a month, but and getting nothing in return really, basically. So I stopped it, and we live out so far out in the country that it's hard to get a carrier out here.
Mm.
There are some. I, we've got too much woods around us for satellite, so um, I don't know. They keep telling me I can get it, but there's only one carrier, and anyway, that's just. Um, I'll resolve that hopefully by the next time we have a meeting because I've been
Ah,
working on it.
good. That would be nice. It's nice to
Anyway,
hear your voice anyway. It's grand to see. Um, oh, we just lost him. I was gonna ask him if he'd fight if I took his mustache.
Oh, there's he back.
He's back. Larry's
Yeah.
back. Oh my, Carolyn.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
I don't have a lot to say today. I think, it's, what the only thing I think about now and then is the paradox of the idea that there's something that can talk and walk and think, yet that it's nothing at the same time. I think about that. But
Mm.
not, and then you go about your life, and what we call our life. And I don't think you can ever really completely resolve, you know, that, you know. If we are the universe looking out of our eyes, that's the only way that I look at it. It's like for some reason that's what this is. And I don't know why we'll never know the reason, it seems to me. There'll never be a reason that's revealed to at least the human brain. That's all I got.
Um, for do for the sense of personal identity, the I am, the persona, to do or see anything would require agency, would require reality, would require itself to be real. The sense of self has no agency. It has no choice. What we The brain reacts according to its intricate programming and calls its own reaction choice. There's no such thing as choice anywhere in the universe. A dog, you give him two bowls of different kinds of food, will go back and forth, and it looks like he's choosing one, but he's not. His body is reacting to programmed preferences. And the program is so complex it could never understand itself. All of this is ideation. It's another overlay. It's an overlay of an overlay. It's an echo chamber. Um, it'll you can't understand who and what you are because you don't exist. What's happening, the way it's seen here, is a beautiful brain is trying to understand its own sense of self, which exists only as its own mental fabrication. Beautiful, beautiful, highly evolved mechanism, but it'll never get a hold of what it imagines it wants because it's living a dream. Oliver.
Um, I think there's an observation which doesn't require agency. An observation, a pure observation, which is not from a specific subject. Just observing what's happening without a center. Doesn't happen usually when you're in normal state, but sometimes it might happen. You said observation seeing and hearing requires agency, which is true normally. But there's also another passive observation without a center.
I think it feels like that.
At least.
I'm sorry. Observation is an objectified overlay. Everything you see, or everything you think you see, is the brain's objectified overlay. It's a lens through which an objectifying brain observes the world. Anything, anything seen through that lens is an illusion. Everything I talk about is talking about illusions. It's trying to describe the relevance of mirages. How real is a mirage? How real is the water in a mirage? Um, Words only obfuscate and exacerbate the illusion. The Surgadata calls it washing blood with blood. It's trying to wash away blood by using blood. It's using it's using words to try to understand the relevance of words. It can never, there's no purchase in that. Nothing exists there. It's all imaginary. Any conclusion you make, any observation you make, is part of this, for lack of a better word, a dream. The brain is dreaming. So what can it do when it believes the dream is real? Nothing. Anything it does from within the dream only makes the dream appear real. You can't wake up from the dream. You are the dream. And again, these are objectifications again. They miss by a mile. Well, there's no such thing as miles. One time I wrote, how exactly long is an inch? Does it go down to the molecular level, to the atomic level, past the atomic level? Is there such a thing as an inch? A lot of people in Europe say no, but there's centimeters. Oh my. I try to think in kilometers. I just can't do it. Somebody says 30 kilometers. And I say, why? No, can't do it. I can't think in kilometers. I don't want to either. hmm Raja, you have your hand up.
All right, okay. Yeah, what I was thinking about was, like, we always think of thought. I think, therefore I am, you know. But like you always say, Michael, we are beliefs, you know. We are this programming. And lots of, now where does the thought emanate from? It seemingly emanates from a individual mind. And we know that there is individual thought because you can distinguish an individual thought from a collective thought or a thought that someone else is having in a way. Because, okay, this is what once happened to me. I would just explain it simply, right? Once I was sitting in my toilet and I was having all these terrible thoughts in my head. And then I said, hey, but I'm not that type of a person, you know. I don't really like think horrible things about people, like, you know. I mean, that's not me, like. So anyway, I come out of the toilet and I'm sitting down there and thinking about that. And then my sister comes to me and she tells me all these things. And she's thinking about it. And then I realized, God, like, I mean, yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, I was thinking those things, you know? So it sort of made me realize that, like, you pick up on other people's vibes, you pick up on their, how they feel and all that. So you realize that not every thought is yours as such. And so, yeah, like now we are all these memories, and the memories that we are, and all this programming, that's what creates an individual thought. So, how does that happen? That there is 8 million or 8 billion thoughts out there. I mean, 8 billion beliefs, different people. There's no two people that have the same beliefs, even the twins too. They found that out, you know? So it is these beliefs that is creating all these differences or whatever, right? And I don't know where I'm going with this thought, but it's like, I mean, it's like all these beliefs are, we keep believing the same things over and over again. And when our beliefs never change, and we hope like for the outcome to change somehow. So I don't know. It's like you keep believing that jam is better than peanut butter, never having tasted peanut butter, you know? Some of us are like that. We have these things. Hey, I don't like peanut butter. Why? You don't know, you know? So, yeah, it's kind of like all our programmings that make us this like people kind of, and we believe that story. And the more differences there are, the more likely you are to believe that you are separate, you know, that you are the separate being, not like others in any way and stuff. And then you have this, I'm individual, I am separate, I am like this, I am better than you, or comparisons, everything starts, you know. And yeah, and then somehow, but when you shift kind of like thing, when you experience the shift, suddenly there's this whole lot of love, like, and it's just seeping out of you. And you're looking at the people that you didn't even like, you know, and you say, oh gosh, that person is so horrible and stuff has been horrible to me. But when you shift, you're looking at the same person and you're feeling this immense love. And you don't know why, like, you know. It's like there's so much of love pouring out of you. And yeah, I don't know. So yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference in this love. There's this conditional love that you fall in love, like I fell in love with my husband, he liked children, so yeah, right. I like children. He was happy with children around him, and I wanted to have kids, so that was the main thing. And you fall in love with there's other things, you fall in love with them. But then gradually you fall in out of love because they don't really fit everything that you're looking at. Okay, the person must be like this. He must not do this. The moment he does that, you're not loving him now. Now it becomes like a battle. So yeah, there is that, like for us forever, like looking at people and we cannot accept them the way they are right there. What's wrong with them? They're so perfect. But we don't see it. We want them to be a particular way, to fit a particular box. And if they don't fit that, then we can't love them anymore. And yeah, but I mean, when you shift this, there's nothing like that there. It's like, hey, I can love everyone. I can say I love you to everyone. And when Michael used to say that, I used to say, oh gosh, how can he do that? Until I started saying I love you to the car guard. Like, we in South Africa, we have these people that look after our cars, when we go shopping. So they come and help us with our shopping and stuff. And then I'll say, I love you. Or it just randomly, like it happens. But yeah, so there's that love. That's so unreal. And there's that other love that says, I can only love you if, the conditional love. So yeah, well, we go between the both. Thanks.
We can't think about thought. Thought cannot think about thought. Thought is not a thing. There's no such thing as thought. It's an observation that we give a name to, but thought doesn't exist. You can't understand thought with thought because it's a label. Any observation, your observation of thinking like another person is a self-reinforcing delusion. We create a world unique to us and reinforce it by belief. People don't think the same thing at the same time. We would have to understand what thought was in order to make that conclusion. My mother used to go to a tea leaf reader, and the tea leaf reader could hit some things. Like she knew that my mother had a boyfriend in high school and that they broke up, and it was very painful. How did you know that? Because everybody has a boyfriend in high school that they broke up with or a girlfriend, and it was very painful. As a 10-year-old, I kept thinking, my mother's paying this lady to tell her this. Like the lady says, "Oh, you've lost someone close to you." I have. Um, they get some hits and misses, and the hits reinforce our belief about what they're saying. That's true of the human reinforcing belief systems. And that's what the self is a bunch of reinforced belief systems, all of which, all of which are illusory. Beliefs are about things, and there are no things, and no one to have them. That's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, it is. Oh, Phyllis, you
What's hard, Michael, is that within the appearance will always be things that we cannot also explain.
can explain
It's not that
nothing.
you can explain everything in the appearance of what is.
Oh,
If you look at what is happening out there, like if you look at monks in the Himalayas and the things that they can do and stuff like that. And then you say, oh, they can walk on fire. I mean, recently I saw someone doing that, right? So now, and now you're going to say, okay, you can't do that because you're not a person, right? Okay, there's no person there that's walking on fire.
I would
But the
say,
appearance of it
yeah,
is that.
the appearance. I would subject them to rigorous double-blind studies before I believe anything about claims that saints can do. Um, Sri Baba could so manifest watches for people. He could regurgitate gold balls. He could manifest ashes that he gave out to people who they immediately put in jars and put on their shrine. But he's been caught on video manifesting watches. I always wanted to ask him for a Rolex instead of a cheap watch. Oh, you can do watches, $30,000 Rolex. Um, it's chicanery. I wrote something one time about a monk who could sit on an ice shelf and melt it for 10 feet around him after 30 years of practice. And I said he was, however, unable to obtain a job that would allow him to make a living from doing it. These are these inevitably fall apart. Uri Geller on a night show was his pants were pulled down by the amazing Randy. He just was made a fool of. He couldn't bend, he could bend spoons, looked like he could, and then Amazing Randy did the same thing, and he showed how he did them. That was the end of Uri Geller's illustrious life.
Very
He had to go back doing work other than fooling people.
I always wondered what happened to him.
Watch the Benny or Carson show with Uri Geller. It's painful. He is just, oh, they always say, well, there's too much negativity. Something. It's watch Geller and Carson show. It is just, I think it's so exemplary of what happens when people try to fool. Your Sai Baba, has still hundreds of thousands of followers, even though he's been shown to be a sham. The health healers, they touch somebody's forehead and bang, down they go, and the follow-ups on the people are not healed. They just take advantage of somebody in the crowd and group hysteria. Uh,
But also, Michael, you are doing what you tell us. You kind of like disproving all this by giving us only examples where there was no success. But I mean, we could turn this whole thing around and give you proof that there was success in certain of the things.
I have yet to see any proof from double-blind studies, Raja. I talked to a lady who went to see Amma, the saint who hugs people, and she said she waited in line for 3 hours um, amongst a bunch of sweating people. She finally made it to Amma. Someone pushed her head up against Amma's chest, and she said it was really wet from slobber and snot. And Amma didn't smell too good, which nobody would after 5 hours of sitting with people in line. She said it was a horrible experience. And yet people emerge from Amma feeling so good because it's group hysteria. It's all this brain stuff flooding itself with everybody's feeling good. Um, I've been in places like that where I get caught up in I'm thinking, well, this is nice. I've been to satsangs with people like Eli Jackson Bear and who else? I don't remember who. Oh, I don't know. Okay, long list. And I fell in love with Catherine Ingram. Beautiful lady. That helped. Gangaji, fell in love with her. Beautiful voice. She's a beautiful woman. That helped a lot too. Uh, it's this gullible human mind that wants to be substantiated, will find anything to reinforce its beliefs, even though, like David Koresh had 100 and some people that fell for everything he said. Jim Jones, another good example. David Applewhite. The list goes on and on. Oh,
Trump.
What about people, Michael? Sorry. Okay, Caroline.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Now, okay, Michael, what about people who have been like in the presence of sages or saints and they have felt this immense transmission? I
hmm.
know when I was listening to this one person, was that I could feel that absolute cold, icy coldness. And hey, I forgot this person's name. But then, yeah, and I woke up. I went to sleep and I woke up. I could feel it. It was like the first time, when I had a shift. Like the first time when I had this kind of like that thing. It was the second time then. Like it was, like unreal. And I'm trying to think of him, and I used to listen to him too. That was in his younger days. And he had that, and then Babaji, I think, not Papaji. Lots of people said when they went to Papaji, they could feel this immense transmission that was happening.
Mm.
And I know lots of people who came to Michael said that they could feel his radiance, your radiance, Michael.
You,
So, I mean, some people seemingly within the dream have that, kind of, yeah, something.
what if,
There's electrical transmissions that we're
Yeah.
made of electricity. And I know I have a friend that, every once in a while when I see him, it's just like, truthfully, for a couple of days, sometimes afterwards, like there's something going on. It's just different, and
there is
yeah, and
something going on. That true. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Karen, but there is definitely something going on. But it's not at all what we think. It couldn't be. Because the person, the other, exists only as an image in your own mind. If you feel like uncomfortable around someone, if someone gives you a negative vibe, it's something in your memory. It's not them. It's something. I was molested as a baby. And years later, after therapy and Alcoholics Anonymous, I went through a vivid dream one night where I relived the whole thing. And I thought, oh, that's why I have panic attacks. It was time to heal for me. Um, but I didn't like men. I would walk into a restaurant, and if there were men in there, I would look at them. I would see if they seemed to be a threat to me, and then I would sit down. If anything was uneasy, I would sit in the corner where I could keep an eye on them. I just didn't like men. I didn't know why. And I was a man. So that's kind of uncomfortable because I'd been molested as a baby. Everything you see is in reference to everything you've acquired, everything the brain has acquired about life. Wonderful survival values. I had, I shouldn't have trusted men because a man had violated me. So that has wonderful survival values, although it results in panic attacks and severe depression, which can make living very difficult, but has survival value. If you see light in someone, I felt the same about God, all these people that Wayne Lickerman, Catherine Ingram, Gangaji, Eli Jackson Bear, the list goes on and on. I felt that warmth around them. I wanted to be like them. What I really wanted to was be able to sit in the center and talk to other people like that. There was
Yeah, I mean,
no other person, excuse me, Raja, there's no other person for you to see. You see your own light or lack of it reflected back to you. That's all. There's nothing else in the world for you, your brain, but the light it casts out into the world and is reflected back. That's you. That's who you are. If you see negative people, that's something, that's a shadow in you. If you see love and warmth, that's you. There's no other person out there. It's your light, Raja. It's your
Mm.
beautiful uniqueness.
I beg to differ, Michael. I mean, if I am the only one, like, okay, if there was like one person that went to Papaji and said, oh, okay, I found this. But there was like 20 people around him and they were all laughing or crying just from the sheer joy of being in his presence, you know? So there was this shared kind of a thing, you know? So I can't say it's me now.
Yeah. People will, it's called group hysteria. Um, enough light, it's something happens. And that there's a reason for that, biologically and evolutionary. We'll follow a leader because they're dynamic, charismatic. Something happens where we'll go to war for them. Well, we're essentially one living organism, like an anthill is one, not separate ants, but all one organism. We are, as individuals, one living organism, basking and sometimes not basking in each other's light or lack of light. Um, without each other, we don't exist. One man alone is no man at all, or woman. You can be shunned from your tribe, and that's the worst punishment you can have because you lose your personal identity. There's no one to bounce off of. Um, People in that alone show where they send 6 people out into the wilderness, after about 3 months, they start to go crazy. There's nobody to reflect off of. When others are reflecting that around us, we fall into it. Uh, a mob mentality. You would hang someone if everybody around you was screaming and hollering and let's hang that guy or girl. We would fall into that. We're all subject to that. A rock concert where people go literally, they lose themselves in the music. Um, has a good side and bad side. I never have been to a concert. I don't know what that's like, but I'd like to. I think, and I don't think so anymore. Um, Human beings are not at all what we think they are. We are killer apes. Chimpanzees, a tribe of 100, will build their courage up and streaked off through the trees and kill another tribe. They kill them and eat them. Violence. There'll never be peace in the world. We're naked killer apes.
Well, we could evolve to it.
No, no, we can't. We can't
How do
change.
you know, Michael? How do you know that?
Well, we can't change the course of evolution because, well, again,
Well, how do we know what the course of evolution is?
because we just want the land to join in ours. We're peaceful until someone takes our land. Um, you would kill someone if you have grandchildren or children or anyone you dearly love. You probably would kill someone if they threatened their life. I
Oh,
would.
right, sure, absolutely.
Yeah. That's part of the beauty of humanity, the rawness of life, the openness of being what we are, embracing every. Walt Whitman said he loves the smell of his own armpits. He loved being human. He was gay. He loved men. Wrote a lot of poetry about his lovers. Just was who he was. I think we can be who we are, but we can't get there by trying to. How can you mess with perfection? What could you do to the Hope Diamond to make it better? Nothing. What would I change about Oliver to make him better? I see him as walking glory. Look at him. Jesus. Oliver, you have your hand up.
Thank you. I'm not sure if I am such that. Um, about the question of Raja, I think we should distinguish if we are talking about something happening out of causal relationship, something completely unexplainable, or something explainable, because in consciousness level, uh, everything can happen. When we interact with each other, when we talk, we can exchange messages, we can make changes in our mind, even without, even for non-verbal communication, there are massive amount of information transmitted in non-verbal communication, that anything can be transmitted from one mind to another mind. And this is completely causal, explainable, reasonable phenomenon, nothing supernatural. Although it's not easily explainable, but it's not magical.
You
So,
see, causal implies a realm in which cause and effect are relevant.
yes,
That's the way we see the world, as cause and effect. Every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction, and all those theories. That's the way the objectifying brain has to see the world. What if there is no cause? What if everything is the cause and effect of everything? Of course, we can't see that, but just speaking organically or objectively, what is the cause of the rain? There is no cause of the rain. It's an infinite chain reaction. All this water flowing up and down through oceans and rivers and rain and fog and mist and all of that is the cause of the rain. So there is no cause of the rain. What is the effect of the rain? Falls down and it makes rivers and goes into the ocean. It's infinite. No line between what rain, ocean, river. There's no line between any of those. But we see it as cause and effect. It's the only way we can. It's the only way the objectifying brain can. What if that same concept applies to everything? What's the cause of a tree dying? What's the cause of anything? What's the cause of Lake Victoria? What's the cause of my getting married when I was 21? What's the cause of anything? There's no cause and effect. That's an objectified overlay. Of course, we can't live in that or see it or experience it, but we can intuit it. And we can't force the brain to do that. The brain is as has no choice either. No one chooses. The brain doesn't choose. It's just like the dog. It looks at two bowls of food and says, I want this. I'll look at a menu. Think I make a choice. No way. They know that the brain reacts before the sense of personal identity is aware of it. It's a split second. Libet, Libet, is the first one that discovered this. The brain reacts and then calls its reaction choice, but that occurs a split second. Some people say seconds, up to 7 seconds. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's a way to measure that. I don't know how, but it's over and over again. This experiment has been shown that the brain doesn't decide. It reacts, and the sense of self, which doesn't actually exist, takes credit for that. There's no cause and effect anywhere in the universe. Everything is the cause and effect of everything. This is like a fish tank in our world, oxygen and the exchange with carbon dioxide and all of that stuff that goes on that we can never see. So beautiful. We see a tiny bit, but what we see is so beautiful. But it's our own beauty we see. There's nothing beautiful about poppies or turnips or pigs. There's nothing beautiful in the universe except in this light of humanity and its self-referential beauty. Everything they see is beautiful as you. You are the light of a world, a very unique, one of a kind aloneness. You are alone, adrift in a world you can never hope to understand. No one ever has or ever will. No one knows more about it than you do, and no one ever will. Ain't that grand?
But Michael, you like once you always contradict yourself. Like I remember once, uh, okay, we can't actually pinpoint cause or effect, right? Because the cause could be like 100 years ago something happened, and now we see the effects of it. You know, it's the same like the bomb. The atom bomb exploded. Immediately, we didn't see the effects of it, but years later, we saw the abnormalities. That occurred as a result of that. So yeah, sometimes you have to look at
What
like
caused the
years. It's not an immediate cause and effect kind of a thing.
No, there's no cause and effect at all. What caused the bomb? Michelangelo spent a lot of time developing war machines. Um, War has always been with us, and it always will be. Um, what was the cause of the bomb? Is we were faster on building it. If the Japanese had it, they would have used it on us. Um, what's the cause of anything? There is no cause. We live in a world of imaginary cause and effect. We think the universe had a beginning. That's the way we picture everything has to have a beginning and an end. What if it had no beginning? What if there is no beginning to the universe? What if it has no end? We say, well, that's
Yeah,
infinity, but we don't know what infinity is either. That's just an idea. We can't picture these things. We can't picture anything, really. All we got is words for things that don't exist. That's the nothingness of enlightenment. That's knowing that nothing can be known, and even that is a form of knowing, or the assumption of knowing. We're stuck in objectification. We are the brain's objectified perspective. There's no way out. But oh, look at us.
I think Phyllis.
I'm wishing I had a beard like Larry. I would look good in that. I wish I had hair like Larry or Oliver. My God. Sometimes I
Good
cut
mind.
off Oliver's hair because it's so beautiful. Sometimes I
Well,
just get lost in Raj's beauty. What were you going to say?
so tell yourself to grow a hair
I
and grow a beard.
want to try it.
Make it a
You
conscious thought.
My my wife said I wanted to have a, what do they call it? I forgot. When I first started to go bald, they had man, what do they call them? The little balls of hair they sit on top. It looks like a ponytail. I
a
said,
topi, a topi, a topi, topi.
yeah, could be. I
I'm
told my wife,
sorry, everybody.
I said I want to buy one.
Can I say something?
Of course you can.
I I just cut out again, and
Worries.
it's about time for me to leave anyway. I wish I could stay because this has been fun. I have enjoyed all this. I wish I could have, spoken more, but I'm just acclimatizing myself to all this. You know,
Uh,
speaking in, I really enjoy this group. On online and otherwise. I've got to start coming more often.
oh, wonderful. Yeah, every
And
Sunday.
but I know, and but right now I've got to go feed my animals.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
It's
Uh,
it's that time.
Yeah, I gotta go too. It's bedtime.
Uh,
It's
I do
10.
too. Oh,
Okay.
Tom Kelly, Tom just came in. Darn it. He missed it by an hour. Oh,
I love
Larry,
you.
are we friends on Facebook? Larry,
Let it go.
Larry,
Who?
are we are is Michael and you friends?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay,
we are.
okay, wonderful. Okay, well, I'll see you there.
Okay.
All right, good to see you.
Good to see you all.
Goodbye.
Tom, you've made it. We're just getting ready to close again. I think you're muted, Tom. Can you talk? If you touch that little microphone down in the corner, there you are.
Okay. Yeah. When I saw it and then I saw the ninth, I thought, oh, because
Every Sunday we'll be here.
okay. So this happens every Sunday.
Every Sunday. Yeah, at 12 o'clock um, Pacific time. So yeah, 12 o'clock noon.
Okay. And uh, you'll
Yes,
post something on
right.
with the link.
At the top of
Okay.
my page. Wonderful. Tom is an airline pilot, retired airline pilot. He's flown over how many miles, Tom?
Uh,
Oh,
many thousands of hours, but I've never thought to convert it into miles, but
Okay, well, the next meeting,
I've
maybe you can do that for us. Incredible.
I've got 5,000 hours with the Air Force in cargo, the C-141, and figure an average of probably 300 miles an hour, and then of course the American Airlines for I had a 25-year airline career and a 25-year Air Force
Oh my God.
career. And
Oh, it's so good to see you, Tom. It always is. I love you. Bye bye.
Love you.
I
I
love you.
love you.
Carolyn, I love you. I hope you come back.
I'll try.
Oh,
Sundays always don't work for me, but I'll try.
oh, you love. Oliver, I love you.
you too.
Raja, of course, you know I love you.
I love you too, Michael.
You
All
sweetheart.
of
I'll see you next Sunday.
Take care.
I didn't record this meeting. I forgot again.
Oh, yeah, it was recording.
Yeah.
No, it was recording.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I became that's how I became aware of this was the last one I watched was a recorded one.
Really?
No,
Don't.
it is
And
already recorded.
I posted that sorry I missed this, but wait, I didn't miss it because it was recorded. So
Oh, oh, sure. Did you record it, Oliver?
No, I think you have turned on recording.
I
I
do.
see the recording is on.
Yes, I do.
So
And I
where
forgot.
do you post? I haven't seen in your YouTube. Do you post only on Facebook?
I have a lot on YouTube. Yeah. But I haven't posted anything there recently. Probably within the last 2 or 3 months. But I must have 12 or 15 on YouTube. They're older ones. They're not
Yes.
quite as stark as the more recent ones.
Yeah, I just checked and your YouTube is not very updated. YouTube is generally more public than Facebook. So, for example, I asked ChatGPT about you and it found some of your YouTube content, but Facebook is closed. The algorithm can directly access it. So
Yeah.
YouTube is generally more public.
Yeah. Yeah, there's quite a few there. Wonderful. I'll see you all next week, I hope.
See you.
Bye, Tom.
Goodbye.
Bye.
always on Sunday at 12 o'clock, huh?
Always. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Claire, usually Claire and I share a meeting, but she's on holiday. She's coming to Cambria, I think on the 13th. I'm not sure. But so she won't, I don't think she'll be on next week either. But after that, Claire will be on. Good to see you all.
Good.
I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you. Goodbye.
Adios.
Adios. Vaya con Dios.